Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your energy reading for the week beginning Monday the 10th of April. These mini readings, I'm going to pull 2 cards from a Mythic Tarot and 1 card from a Betty Boop private deck. Hopefully these 3 messages will come together to spark your intuition, your own thoughts regarding a situation or a energy that you need to work through this week. So can I have 2 cards for, and actually that's 2, so 1 and 2. And 1 card from a Betty Boop. We had the Ace of Swords turn there. So the Ace of Swords is about a victory. There's some sort of victory to happen this week. Maybe we've come through a rough period, and we can be proud of ourselves because we handled it the best way we could. We've set ourselves on a really good path to go forward. If that hasn't happened yet, maybe that is what's to come this week. You know, if there's any challenging energies, if we approach them right, receive them right, we should be able to work through them with very little effort. And then we have a Mature Cups that's come through. In the Betty Boop deck, I only have 2 cards to represent the court cards. Young energy, which represents the page, the idea of something, and the communication of it in the night. And the other card is the mature of the energies. And this one we have the Mature Cup. Represents the kings and the queens. None of them are gender set, as it can be either gender on generals. And excuse me, also in this card we have a yes and a no answer card. So sometimes that comes up as well. And if you are ever coming to a read with a question in mind and that pops up, it may be a signifier as to what the outcome might be. And really, they're the only difference that I do have in this deck compared to a normal tarot deck. So we have the Mature Cups. We've got something emotional this week, and as I turn the first card, it's the 2 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. What a lovely set of cards, Capricorn. So we're starting off with the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups is a coming together of 2 people. Not necessarily in love, but 80% of the time I would say it is love. It's the growing, the potential of something that could be very emotional and very worthwhile. So do we enter the beginning of the week with a knowing that there is a chance of new love on the arrival, or a new job, or a new adventure with somebody? The main message of this card is it's 2 people coming together to make this move forward. Are we coming into this week with thoughts in our mind of, we now want to make a connection with somebody and move forward? Next to that, we have the Mature Cup. So the Mature Cups talk of a male or female in the water elements. So a male or female in their emotional element, being able to express their emotions without their emotions getting the better of them. being logical about their emotions, being kind, compassionate, caring, being heart-centered, but mainly being in control of our emotions. Now, Capricorn, with being an earth sign, you are very grounded. You're very realistic about how much emotions you'll let overrule you. You can keep them in check very much so. So, are we feeling a little bit out of our element this week because something has stirred? Be it the memory of, the desire of, or the coming of somebody into our lives. That could be a water sign. It could be any sign, but they're coming towards you with love offerings, with the chance of an emotional fulfillment. And we're feeling more content in expressing our emotions this week regarding the situation. And I would say that is the message of this card. You know, don't hold back on feeling what's happening. Don't hold back on conveying your feelings about what's happening. If you've got a love offer coming towards you, you know, look at it and reciprocate in the same sort of energy. Because the final card you've got for the week is the Wheel of Fortune, which is very much a karmic card, where at the bottom some days nothing's going right, and then things start to get better, and we get up to the top and it's all sunshine and glory, and it's brilliant, there's nothing going wrong. But eventually we come back down and we head to the lower cycle. However we take what happens to us in the lower cycle, all the negatives that come towards us, if we go with the flow, accept that these things happen and handle them the best we can, then when we get up here, it's even more glorious. But this card turning up in the upright position shows you're on this run of going up to a good, positive time period, energy period in your life. So maybe it is now, you've come to a point this week where you think the one place lacking is a relationship if you're single, or a partnership. Your partnership is not quite there and you've got to pay attention to it. Maybe it needs a little bit more loving, caring, a little bit more time spent together. Maybe it is somebody brand new coming in and offering love. Be receptive to it, be open to it, and that's going to push you up on the wheel of karma. There's no bad cards there to say this offer wouldn't be good. Maybe we're sceptical, we've been hurt in the past, and we're sceptical about a new love offer. Listen to your heart. Be quite happy to sit in your emotions, actually feel your way through this situation, and you'll make the right choice to take the Wheel of Fortune up, and you'll be in a good position throughout the week. Now, at the bottom of the deck, the card I pulled was the Devil. Now, the Devil actually does talk to yourself, Capricorn. So, and it talks of addictions, dependencies, being codependent, feeling chained and bound to something. So maybe we are already in an energy of restriction and feeling chained and bound to something, someone, maybe because of external influences, not necessarily your choosing. But this card comes up to say, realise we don't have to be. We don't have to be chained, dependent, or codependent on anybody or anything. It does very much talk to addictions. There may be somebody surrounding you at the present who has a problem with addictions, and you've got to somehow handle that. It does talk about codependency relationships. So now that laid with the rest of the cards, if you're quite aware of what this addiction is, or even if it's within yourself, how you can be prone to setting your sights on something and feeling chained to it, feeling bound to it, that you can't let go of it. It may be a train of thought you have regarding love situations, but it's now time to change that cycle, change that way of thinking, get out of any addictions. There may be a drink problem, there may be a sexual addiction, there may be secrets, but it's taking yourself out of this devil energy. He also talks of temptations, and when the right temptation comes along, which you could say these two are very much right, you know, a new beginning is something that really fills your heart with joy and fills your heart with joy and happiness. Do we look at it wrong? Do we question it? Do we give in to a temptation too soon and risk being clingy and being in something for the wrong reasons? There may be I don't really want to go this far into it, but there may be a new relationship offered that seems very emotional, and probably what you've been looking for. Maybe there was a past of addictions, or there is addictions that you're unaware of. Or it is a real temptation to take. Now, if it's a real temptation to take, this love has been offered and you're biting at the bit, you really want to go for it, this card is saying, take a check of your emotions. Think it out clearly. Yeah, we all deserve to be able to overindulge once in a while, you know, and he does talk of overindulgence, but be calm and rational about the choices that you make. The choice that if you do use this energy and keep control of your emotions and your passions, he's all about passions. So it could be, okay, it's so passionate and so emotional that it's got to be the perfect match for me. If that's true, then letting these two energies run away with you, you'll only create situations where you force this away from you. Being calm and clear in your emotions and your desires and your passions maybe we have had addictions or others have had addictions, but working through that energy, getting rid of that kind of energy or dependency is going to bring you to the Wheel of Fortune to move forward and have the up cycle now of the wheel. Well, Capricorn, you ended up my longest reading so far, I think. If there's anything else you wish to look at in this reading, as always, just drop me a line. I hope we get through these energies well this week. Just be mindful, not everything that glitters is gold, and it could be that. Look at what secrets could be held, what kind of dependencies or red flags you may see. Look at them. Alright, they may not be of much relevance, but if you've looked at them, it's not something you have overlooked. If it's a clearing out of old energy and addictions and dependencies that we've managed to do, we have lovely clear energy for a new beginning of a new relationship that will be emotionally satisfying and take you on that up cycle on the Wheel of Fortune. Have a great week, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.